Today, I will print the most popular airsoft accessories on Thingiverse and rate each one for their functionality, aesthetics, and usefulness. Stick around, this is going to be great. The world of 3D printing and airsoft go hand in hand. There are a lot of accessories, custom designs, or solutions to problems that manufacturers did not fix, so 3D printing to the rescue. In order to select what I will print, I just went to Thingiverse, typed in airsoft, and filtered by popularity. And these are the designs I chose. Number 1. Print-in-place target spinners. Two of these targets needed 116 grams of filament, and at €23 per kilogram, these cost around €2.7 to make. This is the most popular design at the time of filming, and while the designer claims airsoft might be too powerful for these, they were on top of the list, so we have to give them a try. The filament used for all of these will be PLA basic, and they will be printed on a Bambu X1 carbon. The print came out really well, and with minimum force, they can start moving and pivot correctly. I will set these up at 5 meters and shoot them with a 1 joule rifle. Let's see how they hold up. These can function well on their own, but bolting them down would make for a better experience, so for hardware needed, I would say 4 wood screws. For functionality, I give these a 4 out of 5, aesthetics 4 out of 5, and usefulness 5 out of 5. Number 2. Emergency and sports whistle. This dual port design took 8 grams of filament, so the cost is basically 30 cents. Great value, and I recommend printing more and having them on you in case organizers need an extra one or two. Everybody's attention will be drawn to a whistle sound, so in cases where something bad happened and you need to suspend the game, need to get people to stop squabbling and pay attention and so on, having a whistle on you is a very good idea. This thing is small, simple, easy, and fast to print, and most importantly, loud. This needs no hardware to assemble it or attach it, but comes ready with a paracord hole if you want to hang it on your gear. For functionality, I give the whistle a 5 out of 5, aesthetics 4 out of 5, and usefulness 5 out of 5. Number 3. Rifle foregrip. This resembles a very familiar design from a big real steel company, I won't name any names. This grip needed 57 grams of PLA, so it came out at a cost of €1.3. One thing I don't particularly like is that the mounting is for a Picatinny rail, and there are less and less airsoft rifles coming out with Picatinny as a standard. Nevertheless, this grip has the correct size and feels comfortable in the hand. To attach this, you will need 2 M5 nuts and 2 M5 by 35mm screws. Cap had ones fit better, but I did not have any on hand. Picatinny rail compatibility could be better. You will mar your rail when attaching the screws, as the holes will need to be lowered by 0.5mm to not interfere anymore. As always, with 3D prints, there is a risk of breaking, so be careful how hard you tighten this down. The design has these slits or ribs across the surface to enhance grip, which I like. There are also positive stops in the front, middle, and the back for your fingers that I also appreciate. For functionality, I give the angled foregrip a 5 out of 5, aesthetics 3 out of 5, and usefulness 3 out of 5 because of the Picatinny mounting. Very good if you want to make a 2005 era inspired loadout, or if you still have Picatinny on your bottom rail. Number 4. AR-15 Magwell. To print this, I have used 25 grams, putting the cost of this to 58 cents. Pretty cheap, I would say. So why would you want a Magwell? Basically, it brings two things to the table. Better looks, and it helps when you reload, as it has an angled surface to guide your magazine in its place. Installing it is super easy, as long as you don't have anything right in front of your lower receiver. You just need to slide it on, it has a good enough friction fit to stay in place, but from accidental bumps, it can come forward. The designer thought of this and added 2 holes on the underside to secure it in place with M3 screws. If you want to do that, you will need 2 M3 by 15mm screws. Let's see how well it works. For functionality, I give this Magwell a 5 out of 5, aesthetics 4 out of 5, and usefulness 4 out of 5. Number 5. Tacsac foregrip. This abomination needed 44 grams to be printed, bringing the cost to €1. Now, I won't try to explain or justify why someone would want this on their rifle. Sure, it brings a point where you can grip your rifle, but do you really wanna? Really? In any case, for the people that want this, you know who you are. It only needs one M5x30 screw and the M5 nut to fix your nuts to the rail.
What did he say?
Anyway, the hole for the M5 nut is way too big, so that will deduct some points. Speaking of, for functionality, I give this Tacsac a 3 out of 5, aesthetics 4 out of 5, and usefulness 3 out of 5. Number 6. Picatinny Rail Riser 20mm. Printing this rail riser only used up 25 grams of my PLA, so it would cost 60 cents if you wanted to print it yourself. This print is pretty self-explanatory, but in any case, it brings the mounting point of your red dot up by 20mm, so you can use bulkier face pro or a paintball mask. While it is useful, to install it you need to slide it on, and if your handguard top rail is not aligned with your upper receiver, this will be a pain in the ass to install. Speaking of installation, it requires 2 and 3 screws, 35mm in length, but it has no dedicated hole or slot for the nut, so it will look quite janky. Time for the scores. For functionality, I give this 20mm Picatinny riser a 2 out of 5, aesthetics 3 out of 5, and usefulness 5 out of 5. Number 7. 135 rail / angled rail V3. This offset rail only needed 16 grams to make, so it cost me 40 cents, which is a good thing because it would not fit on any of my guns, and I tried lots of them. If you wanna see my whole gun collection, check out part 1 here. Of course, this could be fixed by scaling the model up, but since none of the others had this issue, I will have to score this accordingly. You will want to use such a print to attach a Picatinny flashlight to your gun, maybe a pressure pad button, or just a red dot to the side, although these are quite stupid in Airsoft. For functionality, I give this offset rail riser a 0 out of 5, aesthetics 3 out of 5, and usefulness 5 out of 5. Number 8. Angled Vertical Foregrip, MLOK. In order to print this grip, the Bambulab X1 Carbon only used up 26 grams of filament, so the cost is 60 cents. Pretty cheap for a nice and stylish front grip that also resembles a very close model from a well-known real steel company. I like the shape and texture on it. The only thing I don't really enjoy is the need to source my own 2 MLOK screws and nuts, but the designer could not do anything about that, so we won't knock off points for that. It features integrated wire routing channels, just like the real counterpart, and if you're willing to remove your handguard and don't plan to take off the grip anytime soon, you can attach it with regular M4 screws and nuts, 10mm in length. For functionality, I give this angled vertical foregrip a 5 out of 5, aesthetics 5 out of 5, and usefulness 5 out of 5. Number 9. Airsoft M4 AR-15 display stand. Finally, the biggest piece I printed for this video needed 150 grams of filament, so it would cost 3.5 bucks, which is not that bad really for a stand. I tested this with all my M4s and it worked perfectly with all of them. It features a mag catch hole to secure the gun, and the base is wide enough to make sure your rig does not tip over in case it's pretty back heavy. For functionality, I give this display stand a 5 out of 5, aesthetics 5 out of 5, and usefulness 4 out of 5. And these are the most popular Airsoft 3D prints on Thingiverse. There will be links down below for each print if you wanna give them a try. Let me know in the comments below if you have a 3D printed accessory, how useful it is, and if you would recommend it to someone else. Also, I wanna know if you want to see a mini-series out of this from other websites like MakerWorld, Printables, etc. As always, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like below and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.